Good morning, CSL family. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas day yesterday, spent with family, friends, loved ones. Personally, I'm recovering from a cookie hangover, but we'll get past it. But yeah, I wanted to welcome you to our digital space here at Center for Spiritual Living, and let's kick off the service, shall we? Me and all my friends, we're all misunderstood. They say we stand for nothing and there's no way we ever could. Now we see everything that's going wrong, the world and those who lead it. We feel like we don't have the means to rise above and beat it, so we keep on waiting on the world to change. Now we keep on waiting on the world to change. It's hard to beat the system, and we're standing at a distance, so we keep on waiting on the world to change. Now if we had the power to bring our neighbors home from war, we would have never missed a Christmas, no more ribbons on the door. And when you trust your television, what you get is what you got. It's when the only information, oh, they can bend it all they want. So we're waiting on the world to change. Now we keep on waiting on the world to change. It's not that we don't care, we just know that the fight ain't fair. So we keep on waiting on the world to change. That's why we're waiting on the world to change. And we keep on waiting on the world to change. It's hard to beat the system when we're standing at a distance, so we keep on waiting on the world to change. Waiting on the world to change. Waiting on the world to change. Waiting on the world to change.
Yes, sirree. Mr. James Harper, good morning.
Good morning, good morning. How you doing?
I'm good. So a cookie hangover, huh?
Oh yeah, way too many, way too many. My family friends, I got 10 left over. It's bad. It's a bad situation.
Well, I'm not going to admit to any types of hangovers whatsoever. So I'm just going to just let it go. But let it go. But
Just let it
Merry,
go.
let it go. But Merry Christmas, James.
Merry Christmas to you. It's
It's
great to
so
see you.
nice to see you. Yes, and just want you to know we are getting a little bit of electronic feedback, like we were having rehearsal on your sound. So you might want to just reach out to
Ah,
Travis and see if he can give you a little guidance on that while we take a little break. But let's all welcome James into our virtual space known as the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles as we come together for this Sunday after Christmas in the year 2021. I'm Reverend Dr. Keith Cox, and it's my real deep honor to be with us all today as we come into this space, this technological space, and have just a really casual, easygoing Sunday morning of connecting to the divine that exists within every single one of us, of being in together in community as the community known as the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles. I invite each of you today to hopefully be cuddled up somewhere in your pajamas in a very comfy environment, feeling the love that is being emitted and exuded through the camera to you as we move along on our Sunday celebration service. As I said before, we are going to do a very casual, easy service today, and we made a conscious decision to not pre record something, but to come live to you all without a lot of pomp and a lot of circumstance, and just roll with it. And so I hope that you're up for that and you're ready to enjoy that, even though we will follow our traditional format. But just do what we're going to do to be bathed in the light of the divine, celebrating both Christmas and the opportunity to be together. And so, with that said, I'm going to put on the screen our slide to begin the morning of just the energy of our logo of the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles, and our vision statement of supporting individuals finding their personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. I trust and know that you found in some way, shape, or form in your life a more spiritual awakening through the celebration of Christmas, or whatever celebration you may have had during this season of light and season of illumination. And that through this state of illumination, there was an awakening that took place for each of you through the love that you felt from all of life, and hopefully and potentially your loved ones that you got to be with. And in that connection, whether it was in person and or online, you were able to feel the light of the divine that is infused within you, and that becomes more readily available to us as we open ourselves up to it. And so each Sunday morning, as we do open our service, we do so opening up to that golden light, that power of the divine that we see on the screen, entering into this beloved sacred being of light, knowing that that which exists in and her, in and as her, exists in and as and for you and I. And so let's take a moment right now to allow that power, that presence, to make itself known to us in a new way. As we open up and say namaste to each other. Namaste. I've got too much technology going here. And so as we receive that energy and that light, we open ourselves up to our celebration service today. Taking a moment to honor each person that's on the screen live, whether it's here on Zoom and or Facebook. Seeing the names in the screen and feeling the presence of their love and light as we know them all in the comforts of our own home today. And then extending that energy and that light, that golden cord that exists within us, to all humans, all beings, all races, all religions, all countries of origins, all sexual orientations, all genders, all abilities, and know that we stand together with all beings of light, hand to hand, heart to heart, honoring the sacred stamp of individuality that's been placed upon each of them as well as on each of us, and called it you. And so through this oneness of life, we welcome one and all, for all is the oneness fully expressed. And so just as James sang us in with the lyrics to the song, Waiting for the World to Change, let's all make a decision today to not wait for the world to change so that we may have change in our lives, but to be the change that we desire to experience. As a community, we've come together for over 30 years to focus on the philosophy, faith, and way of life known as the science of mind. The very essence of this teaching, the science of mind, is that there's only one, as referenced earlier. We are each individualized expressions of this one, and we both process it, experience it, express it, use it, be it, through our thoughts, our beliefs, our actions, our reactions, our interactions with the very thing itself, which is called mind. M-I-N-D. And that as we tend to our mind in a way that is propagating our innate nature of peace and power and beauty and joy and light, life and love and wisdom, the universe responds, because we live in a universe that is governed by spiritual law, and the very things that we are and put out to the universe returns to us. That's the way it works. And so our role here is to not only tend to what we emanate and exhibit and express, but consciously and purposely and decisively put out to the universe the very things that we want to experience so that it returns to us in form. And that provides us with an opportunity as we do that to become more in tune with who we are as a divine being, thus giving us an opportunity to find a greater sense of personal self-empowerment, knowing who we are as divine beings through this practice of awakening spiritually. And so I affirm for each one of us, we've come together today in this space of our Sunday celebration service, this post-Christmas conclave of love, if you will, to tap into the awakening that's being called forth from us and through us. And so we call in the light through this morning ritual called Calling in the Light. I actually lit a candle this morning just for myself to have during our service. But let's look at the candle on the screen to remind us of the light that exists. And we celebrate the upcoming change of the calendar year. This time between Christmas, this very sacred time of rest and relaxation and restoration and just being chill, man, which is what we're doing today. And so when we do this ritual today in this chill state of mind, let's do this ritual promoting the universal consciousness of life for each one of us in a new way, that we tune into that and to know that this consciousness of one life, that in this ritual promotes it so that we may acknowledge that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call Spirit. As we wrap up the season of light, the month of December, let's continue with this acronym of light, living in God's healing truth. The L in light is defined by Ernest Holmes, which stands for light. And Ernest tells us that in flashes of illuminations, the inspired have seen into the very center of reality and then brought back with them a distinct impression of what they've seen and felt. I affirm for each one of us that transpired yesterday as we experienced Christmas in a new way. Continuing with the illumination of the candle, we light a candle, metaphorically, for the letter I in light, which stands for illumination. You've heard me say it before, and I love it, and I resonate with our beloved Amy Steinberg, who got so juiced up by this quote from the book, The Science of Mind, where illumination is referenced in this way. Illumination is inspiration, reaching a cosmic state in a direct contact with the divine. The divine, another word for it, is God. The G in the letter light stands for God. Synonyms for God are love, wisdom, intelligence, source, the first cause, the principle which is dependable, and that which is the absolute. Moving to H in the letter light, healing. In metaphysical terms, healing is a mental activity, which means mind healing. To heal means to make whole. Dr. Ernest Holmes says that healing is the revealing of the wholeness that exists within us already. It's a remembering that healing is not about something from the outside taking place. It's awakening that which is within and allow it to reveal itself through us. The final candle in the 5 candles of light is for the letter T, which stands for truth. Truth is defined in metaphysical terms as that which is. It's the reason, the cause, the power in and through every single thing. It's birthless, deathless, changeless, and is perfection and wholeness. And exists fully and completely by means of you and by means of me. Let's now bring all of those 5 candles together into one light and light the healing candle. I invite you to take a moment and think of anyone that you'd like to put in the healing light. And let's put the beloved Archbishop Desmond Tutu, who passed away last night, into this healing light. Feel free to put yourself and any and all children in the world into this light. This light. And as we look into this light, let's look into it as if we are looking into the very center of reality. And in so doing, we have a flash of illumination. And as we move beyond focusing on the light, knowing that all that we've placed in it are experiencing the eternal and everlasting love of the divine, we bring back with us a distinct impression of what we've seen and felt. And using this glimpse of reality, we illumine the entire world and all beings in it with a flood of light, choosing to live as the mystic. And moving on with this Buddhist prayer for peace. As we're choosing to be the mystic and sharing our light from this day forward, let's heed these words. May all beings everywhere plagued with sufferings of body and mind quickly be freed from their illnesses. May those frightened cease to be afraid, and may those bound be free. May the powerless find power, and may people think of befriending one another. May those who find themselves in trackless, fearful wilderness, the children, the aged, the unprotected, be guarded by beneficial celestials, and may they swiftly attain Buddhahood, that illumination. Let's all affirm together that this is indeed happening through us and for us right now as we give of our divinity to the world. And we're going to do that by singing together a very healing song called Let There Be Peace on Earth. And let it begin with me.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow, to take each moment and live each moment with peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Well, I certainly feel that energy of peace after that ritual and that beautiful rendition of that song. Right, James?
Me too.
Yeah, it's very chill. That's the word for today, chill. So
Super
for those of
chill.
you that have joined us as we opened the service, we have all made a conscious decision for today to be really relaxed and chilled and laid back and comforting for each of us after this beautiful holiday of Christmas. And so James is going to now sing us. What you all missed was James also told us he was having a cookie hangover. So, so I'm assuming in between songs he went and had another.
Oh, how'd you know?
A little chaka fix. So there we go. I love it. So James, the first song that you're going to sing for us today, if I'm correct, is "Time After Time," right?
That's right.
Uh,
That's right.
my connection to it is a Cyndi Lauper version. I'm sure there are others, but we're going to honor the James Harper version today, which is so special. I love this song and I love the lyrics, and I think it really speaks to us. So in the context of the movement of life and time, while at the same time anchoring ourselves into the awareness of light that exists within. So
yeah, the awareness that the light will always be with us,
Right.
and even that I've been pondering on it, like the assurance of our community and the people around us, and
Right.
that we'll always have that. I really like that.
Great.
Lying in my bed, I hear the clock ticking. I think of you, caught up in circles. Confusion is nothing new. Flashback, warm nights, almost left behind. Suitcase of memories, time after. Sometimes you picture me. I'm walking too far ahead. You're calling to me. I can't hear what you have said. Then you say, go slow, and I fall behind. A second hand unwinds. You're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting. Time after time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting. Time after time. After my picture fades and darkness has turned to gray, watching through windows, you're wondering if I'm okay. Secrets stolen from deep inside. The drum beats out of time. You lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I will be waiting. Time after time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you're lost, I will catch you. I will be waiting. Time after time. Time after time. Time after time.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so
Thank you.
very much. Yeah. So as those lyrics were being sung to the beautiful melody, what I hear in that request is not just some other person of I'll be waiting, but the power of the divine within us that is waiting. And
Same.
so, thank you, James. See you later. And so, it's how I would like to begin this spontaneous message this morning regarding the post Christmas celebration, and begin by us opening ourselves up to a greater awakening and awareness and acceptance of that which is always there, saying, I will be waiting for you. I'm going to begin by reading from the book 365. It's a Year of Daily Wisdoms by Dr. Ernest Holmes, and I'm going to read from actually December 25th, which is titled, Today I Walk in the Light of God's Love. It begins with referencing from the Bible, John 4:24, that says, God is spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. Now I invite you to give yourself permission to keep that gender free. All of this in that context, because it's not speaking of the human in male form. It's speaking of a higher power. That's why that gender is assessed in that way or assigned. The next is from the Bhagavad Gita, which says, I, the Father of this universe, the Mother, the Supporter, the Grandsire, the Holy One to be known, the Word of Power. The Tao, it addresses, the Tao Te Ching says, the Tao produced one, one produced two, two produced three, three produced all things. It's said here on December 25th, this. Our lesson tells us that God is the Father, the Mother, the Supporter, and the Grandsire. It tells us that from the oneness of God proceeds the law, the essence, and the Word. Then it tells us that God is Spirit. Wonderful, indeed, in this conception of the union of life, which Jesus proclaimed in the ecstasy of his illumination. I and the Father are one. All cause and all effect proceed from the invisible Spirit. We are one with the Spirit and cannot be separated from it. Our word has power because our word is the action of God through our thought. Power is. We use it. We do not have to create it. Let us seek to use the power of our word more generously, with a greater idea of its beneficence, its abundance, and its ability. Let us seek to use the power of our word more generously, with a greater idea of its beneficence, its abundance, and its availability. When we learn to believe, then our belief is increased. Receiving much, we shall receive more. Giving everything, we shall, in return, receive all. Let us be willing to die to the lesser in order to become resurrected to the greater. That is the true meaning of that thought that we must lose our lives in order to find them. Naturally, we must let go of ignorance if we would gain knowledge. We must stop walking in darkness if we would walk in the light. All month we've been being called forth to walk in the light, with the intention that as we reached the day, the pinnacle day of the light celebration, Christmas in the Western world, that we have all found that flash of illumination as we've gone into the very depths of and the very center of reality. The affirmation that closes out December 25th in the book, in this page, is, today I walk in the light of God's love. Today I'm guided and my guidance is multiplied. I know exactly what to do, exactly how to do it. There is an inspiration within me that governs every act, every thought, every certainty with conviction and with peace. So often in our teaching, in our application and practical application of our teaching, we're taught about the oneness. We're called to step into it in a greater way than ever before. That is the only way, really, to not only move as a mystic and live as a mystic and attain that status, if you will, of being a mystic, clarification, classification, if you will. But it's through that lens of peace and the oneness that we then evolve in consciousness to live from that place of oneness, and in so doing, then give that out to the universe, knowing that it then returns to us multiplied abundantly. The way to do that is by being open to a new perspective, a new awakening, a new way of looking at life, and to know this, as stated in this quote Thich Nhat Hanh has for us. Many of you may have heard these quotes over the last few weeks, and I certainly used a lot of them in our meditation on Wednesday, but I want us to hear them today in a new way, as Thich Nhat tells us. Nothing exists by itself alone. Think about that. Think about that in a new way with a new consciousness just right now. Nothing exists by itself alone. For we all belong to each other. We all belong to each other. We all belong to each other. This is not, he's not saying this in the sense of it being rhetorical, or he's not saying it in the sense as a concept. He's speaking to a spiritual truth. He says we all belong to each other. We cannot cut reality into pieces. For my happiness is your happiness. My suffering is your suffering. And we heal and we transform together. Well, how do we do this? Through the way that we use our mind, the way that we see expressions of life, the way that we deeply give ourselves permission to connect at this level of interconnectedness, of knowing and knowing that we know, and then acting in accordance to the spiritual truth that nothing exists by itself alone. And that this power that is within us is preceded to then give power to the word, and then the law responds. We are interconnected, meaning there is no separation. And so we're called then, once we awaken to this new ideology, this new philosophy, this new faith, this new way of life, this new way of looking at the power, this new way of looking at the power that's within us, the new way of not sitting back and waiting for the world to change, but a new way of knowing that this power is always there. I was working with a client recently, and I think I shared this last week. I said, put the power on either side of your shoulder, and as you walk, feel it as you're on your being. Feel it as your being. Feel it grounding you in your expression of its nature. And then to know, as Paul Coelho tells us, that if we're seeking to know that the world isn't changed from the external in, and we're not waiting for the world to change, but ready to be an impetus and a cause to that change, that, the quote, the world is changed by your example, not by your opinion. To quit talking about how we want the world to look, to quit talking about how we don't like what's going on in the world, to quit talking, period, about it, and then do something. And the only way to do something is about waking up and being something. To be this new expression of the divine. To be more calm and centered in our divine power. To not let the chaos of the world be the barometer from how we engage in our life. Right? The stuff's going to go, it's going to keep happening no matter what it is. The time's going to pass, whether we choose to embrace our divinity in a new way and express our power in a new way. It's still going to all happen. The life will continue. And so we have an opportunity to then create a shift in our perception in life. And then hold on to that with faith. Because we've all had experiences in life where we know that the power of life had our back, man. We could each share something. If we could unturn our microphones on now, everyone could tell a story, if not more, as to how there was a time in your life where you thought, Jesus Christ, can I get through this? Jesus Christ, I'm at the end of my rope. Where in reality, what we are called to focus on then is Jesus Christos, the light within, to open up, to create a new perception, a new perspective as to the power that we are imbued with, that is indwelled within us, and move from fear to love. As it tells us in A Course in Miracles, and Marianne Williamson tells us that a miracle in life is that shift in perception from fear to love, from a belief in what is not real to a faith in that which is. This shift in perception changes everything. And it does. We all know that. We've had those experiences. We're being called today to have another one. And not about moving around and making things happen, but about being the power and the presence. And by letting go of any need to judge or hold accountable in a negative way, or to hang on to the past that may not serve us well in our emotionality, in our spirituality, in our constitutionality of who we are as a divine being. Let's have a new perception today and use this Chinese proverb, which I just love. And it says this, he, once again, not gender-based. In fact, I'll switch it up so it's not gender-based. They who blame others has a long way to go on their journey. The one who blames himself is halfway there, but the one who blames no one has arrived. So I'll just take a moment and imagine how much more energy we would have in life if we didn't blame or judge or speak negative of or live in fear or doubt or hold on to anger of things that have happened in the past. And then imagine that energy that had been used in that way to well up within us as a resource for life, as we now use it in a way that's backed by the creative power of life itself. And then everything changes. It tells us in A Course in Miracles, the shift in perception. We're going to label that shift in perception: no blame, no judgment, no anger, no emotion, no hatred, no fear. And then we've arrived to the Christ consciousness. We've arrived to that spiritual awakening. We've arrived when we allow that to seep into our mind, to have that flash of illumination. And it's through that flash of illumination everything changes. The key is to then stay on the path that we've experienced through this unusual or wonderful event that is caused by the power of the divine, that which is also known as a miracle, and then live accordingly. What we're called to realize in a greater way than ever before, moment by moment, time after time, life experience by life experience, receptivity to newness and receptivity to newness, is to have the depth of the faith of God in the principle of life. And to remember that even though we may at some point have become a hag to the past, even though we've chosen recently in the last 45 seconds to release that, to have a new perception and perspective on knowing that the principle, the creative principle of life, is not bound by precedent. It only responds to us by corresponding. And so we get to declare ourselves as being actively engaged in this shift in perception, not necessarily having to once again do anything out here, but to focus on what we do in here. To have the courage today to just give peace a chance inside. Pema Chodron writes, if we want there to be peace in the world, and we all do, by the way, because we just sang the frickin' song, right? Pema tells us that if we want there to be peace in the world, we have to be brave enough to soften what is rigid in our hearts. In other words, get rid of all that stuff I just spoke of. And then to find that soft spot, that place where we've tapped into the center of reality through illumination. And then stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it. And then stay with it. And then stay with it. It's like tacking a boat that's on its course. Every time you get off course, you bring it right back on. You're in an airplane, on a bicycle, in a car, you're headed to some specific destination in the physical world, and you chart a course, and the entire time on that course, your whole role is to make sure you stay on course. That's the same thing in the evolution of our awakening of our mind to align with our divinity. Pema goes on to say, once we've found that soft spot and have chosen to stay with it, we then have to have the kind of courage. We have to have that kind of courage to let go of the rigidity in our hearts and say it, and then take that kind of responsibility to stay with this soft spot, this place of love within, and to live by that moment by moment, by moment, by moment, by moment. That's the true practice of peace. And that's a very practical application of the true practice of peace, because so often we're taught in this teaching and many others that we're to live in the moment. Well, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I find that to be a real challenging pain in the ass, right? Because, okay, I'm in the moment, but the only way that I know that I'm in the moment is because I consciously determined that I've been in the moment, but now the moment's passed. So now I'm in the new moment. How do I identify being present in that moment? Well, now that moment's passed too. Well, shit, can I catch up with the new moments that are coming? Sorry for the language today. And what Pima Chodron is telling us is saying, no, baby, no. Just be that peace. Don't even try to determine whether you're in the moment or not. Just practice going to that soft spot. Oh, and then practice going to that soft spot. Just practice not thinking, oh, I just said shit on camera. Did that take me out? No. I'm going to go back in and know that the people that are here, that know that I love them, we don't have an attachment to that word. It's just a word, right? What's being emanated from me? Peace, right? Good. Now I'm going to go back to feeling within the soft spot of my heart, having the courage to stay with it and begin to let the true practice of peace be emanated from me as I align myself back into that soft spot as I feel it in my heart. Say, okay, I'm called, baby, to be peaceful. So what am I called to be? Well, we know in this song that's been sung over and over and over, we all know it together of, let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. To then feel that and to heed those words. To then let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. And the lyrics are telling us it's meant to be that way. In other words, it's within us already. We don't have to seek it and pick it and pull it and force it in and try to get it to stay there and hold it. It's like, it's meant to be. It's there. So then to lean in with Source or God or the Divine as our Father. And then brothers and sisters, all are we. And so let's walk with each other, our brothers and our sisters, practicing peace, living in this soft spot and staying with it. And as we do that, we are walking the way that we're designed to walk, which is in perfect harmony. And what that means for us is that every single one of our unique puzzle pieces of the mosaic of the puzzle of the life that's expressed as the sentient beings that are all here, all fit together as one. We are harmonious as an expression. But for this practice of peace, this reality of peace, this purposeful energy activating conscious evolution, this evolution unfolding, then comes back to, yay, I'm having fun with my brothers and my sisters and those that are non-binary. But I have to remember that let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. That with every step I take, let this be my solemn vow to take a moment practicing peace and then to live each moment and to do it in this practice of peace eternally, meaning that I'm not worried about the past. I'm not freaking out about the future. I'm just saying, do it, baby. Do it through me. Do it, baby. Do it through me. I've made this solemn vow to myself to move each step, each action, each reaction to the best of my ability in peace. In peace. And to let it begin with me knowing that if it's within me and it's radiating and emanating with me, from me, as me, then I'm sending it out to you, baby. And there's a place within you that resonates to it because it exists within you too. No matter whether you're consciously tuning in or not, it resonates because it's in that place we're all interconnected. And so today, let's all open ourselves up to a greater experience of the grace of the divine, those miracles that are unfolding around us and through us and as us, and to move forward, meaning that as we move through the next layer of our life, to release the attachments to what was, for what is to be, what has been. Just let it go. And move into that soft spot within us that's there. I invite you, put your hand on your heart. You know it's there. Just breathe into it. Let yourself be quiet and just listen and feel the soft spot. And then connect to that space within you where courage exists. The root word of courage is courage, which means to live from the heart. And let's all together agree to then place our awareness in the region of our heart as we move forward, in each step of the practice of peace. And as we do that, then that source of light, that living in God's healing truth, makes itself known to us more and more and more and more and more. And so we don't have to wait for the world to change and sit back and wonder whether the F it's going to or not, because we've already decided to be that change and to be the very thing that we're wanting to experience. We don't need to want to experience it or hope it comes. We allow it. We allow it to be. And then blessings occur. And your life is more infinitely blessed. And my life is more infinitely blessed. And each individual's life that hears this message and resonates with this energy, their life is more infinitely blessed. And that's how the peace on earth that was meant to be becomes manifest. And so let's not be a peaceful warrior. I don't like that term. Let's be a peaceful activator. Let's be a peaceful being. And let's let it begin with me. And I invite you to say to yourself, oh yeah, hell yeah, it's begun with me right now. Merry Christmas to you guys. I love you. I miss seeing you in person. We're going to change that January 23rd. So just connect and know more for that. And with that, I'm going to invite James to come back and sing us another song that's going to continue in this vibe of us relaxing into spirit and having a chill connection on Sunday here through the action of Zoom and Facebook. And at that other thing called time, we'll make it show up on a YouTube channel. So James, take it away.
It's coming on Christmas, they're cutting down trees, they're putting up reindeer and singing songs of joy and peace. I wish I had a river I could skate away on, but it don't snow here, it stays pretty green. Gonna make a lot of money and I'm gonna quit this crazy scene. I wish I had a river I could skate away on. I wish I had a river so long I could teach my feet to fly. I wish I had a river I could skate away on. I made my baby cry. And she tried hard to help me, you know, she put me at ease. And she loved me so naughty, made me weak in the knees. I wish I had a river I could skate away on. I'm so hard to handle, I'm selfish and sad. I've gone and lost the best baby that I ever had. I wish I had a river I could skate away on. I wish I had a river so long that I could teach my feet to fly. I wish I had a river I could skate away on. It's coming on Christmas, they're cutting down trees, putting up reindeer and singing songs of joy and peace. I wish I had a river I could skate away on. I could skate away on. Oh, I wanna skate away on.
Joni Mitchell classic. So beautiful.
Indeed.
Yeah, so beautiful. Thank you, James. Just a continuation of just creating beautiful, wonderful, warm, loving music.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I would encourage anyone that, if they haven't had a chance to see the Kennedy Center honors for that aired last week on CBS. I'm not plugging CBS, but one of the honorees was Joni Mitchell, and so it was a really beautiful presentation of her music. So it'd be most wonderful to watch. So
I know what I'm watching today.
yeah, so go into your resource library, everyone, into your technology format for how you view entertainment, and seek it out. It can be found. Thank you. So let's move to the time in our service where we support our community financially, and know that all financial support is deeply appreciated, deeply honored, and is evidenced by each one of you of how you understand to use these teachings in the science of mind and our nature of abundance to propagate good in the world. And that's what we as a community are committed to doing as well, is to taking that and tithing back out into the world, and using the abundance of the nature of abundance that we are. And so those methods are on the screen right now. You can go to our website, csl-la.org, and click on donate, or go to our app. The app in the App Store is Center for Spiritual Living, Los Angeles. It'll take you through that. It says on the screen you can mail a check in to our home address, which is 1200 North La Brea Avenue, West Hollywood, or call me directly if you want me to handle that privately. And so also, let's just remember that you can use our website and the app and our social media sites for all resources should you want to know more about us, as well as our weekly e-newsletter. And there we go. All right, so James is going to take us through our song Love Is My Decision while we all take a moment and support our community financially.
Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. Once I decide to change my mind, the source will show me how. Love is my decision, right here, right now.
Thank you, James. Thank you for all that you did for today. And I appreciate you, and I appreciate your music. I appreciate your talents. I'm so happy that you had a great holiday, and I'm so happy that you have a cookie hangover. So,
It's always great to be here, and yeah, just wishing you and everyone a happy new year, and what a way to start off New Year vibes today.
exactly, exactly, surrounded in love. So, thank you, and we'll say a bid adieu to you right now, and then you can stay on and say hello to everyone later if you'd like to do that through Zoom.
Sounds great.
So just to let you all know, our office will be closed this week, as will there will not be any meditation on Wednesday. You can resource past meditations should you desire to do that through our YouTube channel. All of that information can be found on our website. And we're going to take a break. I'm going to take a break and just read books and sit by the fire and play with my dog and live life and be with loved ones. So I encourage you all to do the same and to know and remember that you are indeed the blessed being of light that's called the divine, that is expressed as you. You are that stamp of individuality that's been, Spirit has placed it on you and expressing as you in all of its totality and its glory and its magnificence. Let's say thank you to our beloved Robert Hensley, who is our social media guru and administrative assistant, for supporting us and doing the work that he's done, and for being who he is. And the same for Travis Smith, for always showing up and taking care of us and making sure that we've got our original sound buttons on and the right things are clicked here and there. And just a big thank you to both of you for all the work that you do to keep us moving. A big thank you to our board of trustees, and a thank you to all of you that support our community and keep us moving as we navigate this bridge to our next expression, knowing that that is a fabulous and wonderful thing happening through us. And we do that by remembering who we are, each are individually, as divine beings, imbued and filled with grace. So I'm going to close with a meditation, and after that meditation we will say goodbye to those that have joined us on Facebook, our beloved FB friends, and then we will hang on for just a moment and Zoom and say hello to each other should we desire to turn our cameras on and do that, and then we'll release ourselves out into the week for more beauty and more restoration. With that said, if it's comfortable where you are and safe where you are to close your eyes, I invite you to do so. As we inhale together and exhale, just feeling the shift in our being as we inhale and hold it, feeling that pressure, and then exhale. Let's let that simple act be a reminder to us of the force of life that we have within us. To remember that this energy that gives us life is more than just energy. It's backed by an essence, a divine essence that's pure by nature, meaning that it's unencumbered by human emotion. It's unrestricted by thoughts or feelings or ideas of the past or what the future holds. Let's breathe in again and feel it as we inhale and exhale. It's the light of life, and it's within you and it's within me. It's within all. And it resides in that soft spot within our heart, ready to be magnified and expressed, to be given and to be acknowledged and shared. And then to equally be received. And so I affirm for each one of us that from this moment forward, We live from this soft spot. We emanate and radiate and give this place within our heart that we have the courage to let be and use it with responsibility of honoring that which it is, and then practice the flow of peace. We do this for ourselves. We do this for each other. And we do this because we know that's what we're here to do as divine beings. And so on this day, marked by the Gregorian calendar, called December 26 in the year 2021, a miracle has occurred for each of us. And it's a shift. A shift of the freedom that we feel by letting go. It's a shift of being set free from being enslaved to fear and doubt. And it's a shift in perception of no longer waiting for the world to change externally, and our choosing to be, the first two letters of the word being, the very change that we desire to experience. And so we let the words guide us of, let there be peace on earth. Let there be love on earth. Let there be light on earth. Let there be beauty on earth. Let there be joy on earth. Let there be power and wisdom exemplified on earth. And today, this moment, with this breath and the solemn vow, it begins with me, as it does with you. And oh, so it is. May you all have a blessed, blessed, blessed practice of peace. Thank you for being here today. I look forward to sharing the journey of my life with you more and more. And I look forward to sharing the journey of your life with me and all of us more and more and more. Peace be with you.